What if the monsters of myth never truly vanished? In this video we dive into terrifying legends of creatures said to roam our world, beasts born from ancient fear and whispered sightings. From shadowy forests to the ocean's blackest depths, these horrifying mythical monsters may not just be fantasy. Could the legends of the Chupacabra, the Wendigo, or the Kraken be grounded in truth? Join us as we explore spine-chilling evidence, folklore, and real-life encounters that suggest these nightmarish entities could still exist today. Brace yourself, because some monsters refuse to stay in the past. Let the hunt for truth begin. Chupacabra, the blood-sucking beast of the night. In the shadowy edges of rural landscapes, where superstition merges with unexplained animal deaths, the legend of the Chupacabra took root and spread like wildfire. Often described as a terrifying vampiric creature that stalks the night, draining the blood of livestock with surgical precision, the Chupacabra has become one of the most infamous cryptids of modern folklore. Originating in Latin America, particularly Puerto Rico, the myth of the Chupacabra has captivated imaginations, incited panic, and inspired countless investigations, both scientific and supernatural. But what is the Chupacabra? Is it a flesh and blood predator yet undiscovered by science, a psychological projection of rural fears, or a myth born from a misunderstanding? In this deep dive, we will explore the origins, descriptions, reported sightings, scientific theories, and cultural significance of the Chupacabra, the blood-sucking beast of the night. Origins of the legend, Puerto Rico's panic. The first widely known reports of the Chupacabra began in 1995 in Puerto Rico. A woman named Madeline Tolentino claimed to have seen a strange creature outside her window in the town of Canavanas. This creature, she said, stood about 3 to 4 feet tall, had large eyes, bipedal posture, spikes running down its back, and leathery or reptilian skin. Around the same time, a wave of mysterious livestock deaths occurred throughout Puerto Rico. Farmers awoke to find goats, chickens, and other animals dead, completely drained of blood, with strange puncture wounds on their necks. The media coined the name El Chupacabra, Spanish for goat sucker, as the creature's favorite prey seemed to be goats. The reports sparked national panic, and soon sightings began to spread throughout Latin America, Mexico, and eventually into the southwestern United States. 2. Description: a creature from nightmares. Descriptions of the Chupacabra vary, but two primary archetypes have emerged over the years. The reptilian humanoid type, original Puerto Rico version. Bipedal, standing 3 to 5 feet tall. Reptile-like gray or greenish skin, sometimes scaled. Large red or black almond-shaped eyes. A row of sharp spines or quills from the neck to the tail. Long, thin limbs with claws. Emitting a foul sulfuric odor. Possessing a long forked tongue or fang-like teeth. Reports suggest this version has a hypnotic stare to paralyze its prey. The canine type, North American version. Quadrupedal, more dog-like in appearance. Often hairless with mottled, grayish-blue skin. Emaciated body with visible ribs. Sharp teeth and glowing eyes. Associated with mange or disease. Does not match the reptilian image but aligns with many alleged video and photo sightings in Texas and Mexico. Interestingly, while the reptilian type dominated early Puerto Rican reports, the dog-like version became more common in later sightings, particularly in Texas. This shift in appearance has led some cryptozoologists and skeptics to suspect different origins, or even multiple creatures being lumped under the same name. 3. The blood-draining phenomenon, fact or folklore. Central to the Chupacabra myth is the idea that it drinks its victim's blood, leaving behind perfectly intact carcasses with small puncture wounds. In many rural areas, farmers found animals that appeared to be drained of blood but not eaten, which did not align with typical predator behavior like coyotes or wild dogs. But forensic examinations of alleged Chupacabra attacks often revealed a different story. In many cases, the animals were not completely drained of blood. The pooling of blood internally or decomposition effects can mislead. Wounds could be explained by typical predator bites, although appearing unusual due to postmortem changes. Some cases were hoaxes or exaggerated accounts fueled by local panic. Despite the scientific pushback, the imagery of a vampiric beast prowling in the dark has remained compelling and central to the Chupacabra's legend. 4. Sightings and reports, a global phenomenon. Following the 1995 Puerto Rican wave, sightings exploded across Latin America. Reports came in from Mexico. Numerous farmers reported strange animal deaths and sightings of a dog-like creature. In northern Mexico, people described hairless beasts attacking livestock. Chile and Argentina. Attacks on sheep and goats were attributed to the Chupacabra, with witnesses describing both reptilian and canine versions. United States, especially Texas ranchers reported strange, emaciated canines with blue-gray skin. Several were killed, photographed, and even tested, usually identified as coyotes with mange. Interestingly, the Chupacabra has also been reported as far afield as the Philippines, Russia, and parts of India, though these cases often lack credible evidence and are likely inspired by the media hype around the name. V. Scientific theories, cryptid, canine, or cultural myth. There are several prevailing theories about what the Chupacabra might be. 1. Undiscovered cryptid. Some cryptozoologists argue that the Chupacabra is a real, undiscovered species. They point to the consistency of eyewitness reports and the strange behavior of alleged animal attacks. However, without a body or conclusive physical evidence, this theory remains speculative. 2. Canines with mange. The most widely accepted scientific explanation is that many Chupacabra sightings are actually coyotes, dogs, or other wild canines suffering from sarcoptic mange, a skin condition caused by parasitic mites. Mange causes hair loss, thickened, crusty skin, emaciation due to the animal's suffering, odd behavior such as increased boldness near humans. This theory explains the canine-type sightings, especially in the US, and the vicious but uncharacteristic livestock attacks, as the animals are starving and desperate. 3. Mass hysteria and media influence. Skeptics argue that the Chupacabra is a textbook example of modern folklore born from media-fueled panic. The initial Puerto Rican sightings coincided with a wave of UFO and paranormal interest. In fact, Madeline Tolentino, who gave the first detailed Chupacabra description, later admitted her vision was influenced by the alien creature from the film Species, 1995, which she had recently watched. The copycat effect is well known in psychology. Once an idea spreads, people may interpret unrelated events through that lens. This explains how different cultures and regions described varying creatures but still called them Chupacabra. 6. The Chupacabra in pop culture. Despite the skepticism from scientists, the Chupacabra has carved a massive niche in pop culture. Television, appeared in shows like The X-Files, Supernatural, and Lost Tapes. Movies, featured in films like Chupacabra Terror and Scooby-Doo and the Monster of Mexico. Books and comics, frequently depicted in paranormal anthologies, fantasy novels, and graphic novels. Video games, the creature appears in games like Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare, and The Secret World. Music and art, bands have used the Chupacabra as an album name, and artists have reimagined it in styles ranging from frightening to comical. The Chupacabra's blend of mystery, fear, and the grotesque has made it a favorite among monster fans and conspiracy theorists alike. 7. Symbolism and cultural resonance. At a deeper level, the Chupacabra is more than a cryptid. It represents anxieties in a rapidly modernizing world. Especially in Latin American and rural communities, the creature has come to symbolize fear of the unknown, the unseen forces that harm livestock or disrupt natural order, distrust of government and science. Some believe the Chupacabra is an escaped government experiment or alien hybrid. Cultural identity. The legend is uniquely Latin American in its roots, yet it resonates globally, highlighting the universality of monster myths. Environmental disruption. The creature can be seen as a metaphor for natural balance being disturbed, with monsters emerging as a result. Legend that refuses to die. Whether a misunderstood animal, an invention of folklore, or a yet undiscovered predator, the Chupacabra continues to haunt the imagination of millions. Despite the lack of hard evidence, its legacy endures because it taps into primal fears, of the dark, the unknown, and of something lurking just outside the safety of civilization. In this way, the Chupacabra joins the ranks of the most enduring mythical monsters, alongside Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the Mothman. It teaches us that even in a world dominated by science and reason, there's always room for mystery, myth, and the monsters we create in our minds to explain the things we cannot yet understand. So the next time you hear rustling outside at night or wake to find something not quite right with your livestock, remember, the Chupacabra may still be out there watching, waiting, and thirsty for blood. The Kraken, giant sea monster or unseen ocean predator. For centuries, the Kraken has loomed in maritime lore as a terrifying sea monster, capable of dragging entire ships and their crews into the abyss. Sailors whispered of monstrous tentacles, vast whirlpools, and the ominous silence that followed its wrath. But where myth meets the unexplored depths of the ocean, a lingering question persists. Was the Kraken a figment of nautical imagination, or was it inspired by something real, an unseen predator lurking beneath the waves? This exploration dives into the origins of the Kraken myth, analyzes historical accounts, examines possible scientific explanations, and investigates whether this legendary beast could actually exist. Origins of the Kraken myth. The word Kraken originates from Scandinavian folklore, particularly Norwegian and Icelandic sea tales. The name itself comes from the Old Norse word kraki, meaning a malformed or twisted creature. The Kraken was said to dwell off the coasts of Norway and Greenland, an area notorious for its rough seas and strange marine sightings. The earliest detailed description of the Kraken appears in the 13th century Icelandic text Orvarad's saga, where it was mentioned alongside the Hafgufa, a sea creature so enormous it could be mistaken for an island. According to the saga, the creature opened its jaws so wide it could swallow entire ships. By the 18th century, naturalists like Eric Pontoppidan, Bishop of Bergen, began to document these tales more seriously. In his 1752 work The Natural History of Norway, Pontoppidan described the Kraken as a creature so large it could be mistaken for land, possessing limbs, tentacles, capable of dragging vessels under the sea. Though he mixed myth with conjecture, he speculated the Kraken might be a real but unknown marine species. Characteristics of the Kraken. According to the most widespread accounts, the Kraken is colossal in size, said to be over a mile in circumference, sometimes compared to an island or large landmass. Tentacled and deadly. The creature's arms are strong enough to crush ships and drag sailors to a watery grave. Capable of creating whirlpools, as it descends into the ocean, it supposedly creates a powerful suction vortex. Dwelled in cold northern waters, especially around Greenland, Iceland, and the Norwegian Sea. Sailors reported sea conditions changing rapidly around Kraken sightings. Sudden stillness, dead fish surfacing, and strange shapes moving beneath the waves. Such descriptions blend terror with awe, suggesting the Kraken was both feared and revered, as much a force of nature as a monster. Real monsters? Cephalopods and the science behind the myth. With the rise of marine biology and deep-sea exploration, researchers began to suspect that the Kraken legends may have been inspired by real creatures, particularly cephalopods, a class of mollusks that includes squid, octopuses, and cuttlefish. The giant squid, a likely candidate. The most probable inspiration for the Kraken is the giant squid, Architeuthis dux, a deep-sea dweller that can grow over 40 feet, 12 meters, long. For centuries, giant squids were known only through fragmented remains, beaks, tentacles, and scars on whale carcasses. It wasn't until 2004 that scientists in Japan captured the first images of a live giant squid in its natural habitat. 2 years later, a live specimen was filmed for the first time, confirming many legends about its massive size and elongated tentacles. Giant squids possess long, muscular tentacles with serrated suckers. Eyes the size of dinner plates, the largest in the animal kingdom. Powerful jet propulsion to escape predators or ambush prey. These features easily align with the Kraken legend. If a sailor glimpsed part of a giant squid rising to the surface, especially in foggy or stormy waters, it could easily appear as a monstrous entity. The colossal squid. Even larger than the giant squid is the colossal squid, Mesonicoteuthis hamiltoni, found in Antarctic waters. Though less studied, estimates suggest it can reach lengths of 45 feet, 14 meters, or more. Unlike its cousin, the colossal squid has swiveling hooks on its tentacles, adding an extra layer of danger. It's also bulkier, slower, and capable of generating serious injuries to large predators, namely sperm whales with whom they famously clash in the deep. This cephalopod remains elusive, which feeds the imagination. If we still haven't fully explored the largest squids, what else might lurk in the dark zones of the sea? Historical accounts, eyewitness or exaggeration. Over the centuries, numerous historical figures and maritime records have documented encounters with kraken-like creatures. Though these reports are often dismissed as misidentification or sailor embellishment, they remain hauntingly consistent. Pierre Denis de Montfort, 1801. This French naturalist compiled numerous accounts of giant octopuses in his Histoire naturelle générale et particulière de mollusques. He described encounters where ships were reportedly attacked and dragged under by enormous tentacled beasts. Though some of his interpretations were later discredited, de Montfort's suggestion that cephalopods of monstrous size existed was not far off base. He was simply ahead of his time. 1870s, HMS Challenger expedition. During this scientific voyage, the remains of several giant squid were recovered, including tentacles and beaks. These were among the first physical proofs that such creatures actually existed. The expedition also laid the foundation for modern deep-sea biology, which still finds new species in unexplored ocean zones today. Modern sperm whale battles. Deep scars on sperm whales, some measuring several feet long, have been attributed to battles with giant or colossal squid. These confrontations occur thousands of feet below the surface, where the whales hunt and the squids defend themselves. If such combat leaves visible marks on a whale, it's reasonable to imagine a terrified sailor witnessing a similar event might believe a kraken had risen from the depths. Symbolism and cultural significance. The kraken, like many mythical monsters, serves as more than just a scary story. It is a reflection of human fears, especially those tied to the sea. Fear of the unknown. Before sonar, submarines, and satellite imaging, the ocean represented mystery and danger. Even today, over 80% of the ocean remains unexplored. The kraken became a vessel for projecting humanity's anxiety about what might lie beneath the waves. Punishment and power. In Norse mythology, sea monsters often represented divine punishment or trials. Ships that disappeared were thought to have angered the gods or trespassed forbidden waters. The kraken could be seen as a guardian of sacred depths, protecting the sea's hidden truths. Colonial and imperial fears. As European navies explored distant territories, stories of sea monsters multiplied. New lands, unknown animals, and strange phenomena challenged what sailors knew. The kraken symbolized these fears, that nature was bigger, more ancient, and more uncontrollable than civilization could comprehend. The modern kraken. Pop culture and speculation. The kraken has been revived in countless modern forms, from the 1981 film Clash of the Titans to Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, 2006, where it emerges as a colossal, tentacled servant of Davy Jones. In literature, H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu mythos borrows kraken-like imagery to symbolize ancient, cosmic horror. Even brands have embraced the legend. Kraken rum uses stylized tentacles to suggest power and mystery. In science fiction, the term kraken is often applied to any world-ending sea creature or alien. This cultural ubiquity shows how enduring the image is. It taps into something primal, the awe and terror of the sea itself. Could the kraken exist today? With advancements in deep-sea exploration, we're continually discovering new marine species. Some bizarre, others enormous. The Mariana Trench alone is 36,000 feet deep and hosts life forms adapted to immense pressure, cold, and darkness. Here's what we know. Giant and colossal squids are real and possibly larger than we've recorded. The ocean is vast and mostly unexplored, especially below 3,000 meters. Cephalopods are intelligent, adaptive, and capable of behaviors we don't fully understand. Could there be an even larger, more elusive cephalopod species? One with the strength to damage small boats or terrify sailors? Possibly. However, modern sonar and surveillance haven't uncovered a kraken of legendary size. Most scientists agree that while squid-like creatures inspired the myth, nothing as large as described in folklore likely exists, or has ever existed, without leaving stronger evidence. Still, the ocean continues to surprise us. New deep-sea creatures, never-before-seen behaviors, and ecological mysteries emerge each year. Monster, myth, or metaphor. The Kraken stands at the intersection of folklore and science, a terrifying specter of the deep, yet grounded in biological possibility. While the monstrous, ship-crushing leviathan of sailor lore may not literally exist, it reflects something real: the human encounter with a vast, largely uncharted and sometimes hostile ocean. Modern cephalopods, especially the giant and colossal squid, lend weight to the myth. Their strength, intelligence, and elusiveness suggest that sailors weren't just spinning yarns, but recounting awe-filled encounters with creatures beyond their understanding. Ultimately, the Kraken is more than a monster. It is a symbol of nature's mysteries, the fear of the unknown, and the fragile line between legend and reality. And as long as the deep sea holds secrets, the Kraken will endure, not just in stories but in the shadows of what we've yet to discover. Thanks for joining us on this chilling journey into the shadows of myth and reality. Whether lurking deep in remote forests or hidden beneath the waves, these terrifying creatures may still be out there, watching, waiting. Do you believe these monsters could still exist? Or are they simply echoes of ancient fears? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and remember, sometimes legends are more real than we'd like to believe.